Disruption is a word that has become a part of the fashion, political, and business landscape. Tonight, I'm here to pay tribute to a woman who has been disrupting the fashion industry for almost 50 years. I am talking about the one and only Norma Kamali. So much of her work through the years that was revolutionary has now become a part of the fashion lexicon. She has always played with high-low, making sweats fashionable, and sending the sleeping bag coat onto the streets of New York and around the world. She understood exercise and fitness and how it influences how we dress well before anyone knew the phrase athleisure. She took the shoulder pads out of serious suits and she popped them into t-shirts and sweatshirts, and she indeed changed the silhouette of everyday life. When I was a student at FIT, looking up to Norma Kamali, my friends and I were truly fashion obsessed. We had to have all of the latest looks, and quite honestly, we would do anything to get them. One night, a friend of mine was so excited that she had just bought a Norma Kamali maillot. She decided that this was not just, in fact, a perfect bathing suit, it was the perfect thing to wear to Studio 54, even though it was a cold February night, with a pair of Charles Jourdan mules. Now, of course, the only thing that could make the maillot work for that winter night was the Norma Kamali sleeping bag coat. Unfortunately, on her student budget, no matter how hard she tried, all she could swing was the maillot and not the coat. Well, rather than ruin her look by just wearing any old coat, she decided the closest thing she could get to that Norma Kamali sleeping bag coat was, in fact, to pull the duvet comforter right off of her FIT dorm room bed and wrap herself up in it. Well, she breezed right in the door at Studio 54, swaddled in her duvet and her Norma Kamali maillot. And I have to tell you, that is the kind of fervor that Norma Kamali has always created amongst fashion fans. Let's be honest, what teenage boy back in the 70s didn't have that Farrah Fawcett poster on his wall wearing that red Norma Kamali OMO maillot, nipples aflame? She has taken swimwear and she has made it as glamorous as evening wear. She was one of the first American designers to open their own retail store back in the late 60s because connecting with the customer has always been such a huge part of Norma's success. Later, she saw that people would start to change how they shopped, and she became the first designer to create the online store back in the 90s. She was into wellness before anyone knew what green juice was. She and her fans talked about yoga back when, quite frankly, I thought they were talking about yogurt. She has always been a woman ahead of the curve. In addition to all of her innovations as a designer, she is an incredibly philanthropic, empowering human being. She is full of warmth, beauty, and kindness. And I have to say, I can't think of a better person to receive the Geoffrey Beene Lifetime Achievement Award, and it is truly my pleasure and honor to present it to my friend Norma Kamali.
Phew. Well, thank you, Michael. Many times, thank you. I thank the CFDA, a wonderful, wonderful organization that I'm proud to be a part of. Michael, of course, has been so generous in recommending that I receive this award, so I bless him and thank him. I thank the Geoffrey Beene Foundation for creating this award and for the CFDA Geoffrey Beene Lifetime Award. I am honored and thrilled. I want to thank a ton of people, and I have, but I've cropped it down to a few. The first person I have to thank is Kama Prasad, who's in the audience and has been with me 45 years, and that's pretty amazing. That's a long relationship. But there are markers in my career that are very important, and there are people I want to thank. I want to thank Francesco Scavullo, for putting my swimsuit very early in my career on the cover of Cosmo, on Christy Brinkley, who nobody knew, and it was her first big shot. And thank you to Sean Burns, for those who you know Sean is. I want to thank Bob Curry, my very, very dear friend, for camping with me in 1970 and helping me discover the sleeping bag coat. I want to thank Victor Hugo, Halston's collaborator for many years, for knocking off my swimsuit, but then paying me back big time by introducing me to parachutes. So I like that one. I want to thank Richard Avedon, of course, for introducing me to Twyla Tharp. I've had the honor of collaborating with Twyla on 9 dances, and I especially loved In the Upper Room. And thank you to Diana Vreeland, and that was quite an experience, and asking me to create parachutes for the Met costume exhibit, and that was for the first time that a living designer was in the exhibit, so that was a big honor. And of course, I have to and love to thank Ian Schrager for asking me to design a New Year's Eve costume for Grace Jones for the first New Year's Eve party at Studio 54. He's been my best friend for life and a great supporter, and even better, he introduced me to Marty Edelman, and I'm supported and loved by a man that I love extremely well, and he's my true soulmate. And I've often asked by a lot of young people, and I'm sure you all are too, how do you get started in the fashion industry? What do you do? What are the tips? And through the years, I've had a lot of tips. But as the years, these past maybe 5 years are on us, everything is disruptive, and I love disruption, but this is a hard one to kind of explain to someone who's saying, I just don't understand how to do anything in the industry. And I'm not sure that we all understand anymore how to do anything. So I tell them maybe celebrity might help if you can't do it any other way. But of course, we all can't sing like Beyonce and can't do that. So I then say, maybe you just have to go for the sex tape. You gotta try. So in any case, in my next decade and reinvention, fitness, health, beauty are very, very important to me. And putting it together with style is my next platform, and I'm excited about it and thrilled to present new projects. But just in case, I asked Mickey Drexler if maybe he would want to do a sex tape with me. And he said it would be a very, very long sex tape. But I say stay tuned anyway, you never know. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.